fact, there's a beautiful moment in the film about Granger called Passion, the film that came out in 1999. And the fictionalised Granger there says of Australia that it is, quote, a place where civilisation seems a walloping waste of time. And his fictionalised mother, even better, says this: Australia, the best place on earth. And then continues, the problem is that you just can't live there. Now, from Stephen Lambs's book of 1999 called When London Calls, the expatriation of Australian creative artists to Britain, you would even gain the not incorrect impression that London was actually the hub of professional musical life, both for Australia and New Zealand, until well into the 1960s. If you were good enough, you took the boat to London to test your talent as early as you could. And if you were good enough, you stayed there. If you went home, you had obviously failed. Now, where Granger was different was that, driven by the outbreak of the First World War, he sidestepped to North America, as also did, somewhat later, his younger Australian contemporaries Arthur Benjamin, who's had many years in Vancouver, and Peggy Glanville Hicks in New York. And there in New York, Granger stayed, and there he died just weeks after John F. Kennedy became the president. So now we have the integrated proposition: was Percy Granger Australia's great test composer? If we are prepared to admit that no Australian composer comes close to any list of the top 100 composers globally, or even the top 100 20th century composers, or even the top 100 living composers, and all of those do seem to be true by virtually any score, then Granger's case is about as good as any Australian's on the title. The evidence of this year's City of London Festival, with its strong Australian and New Zealand accent, also strengthens the case. Out of 21 Australian composers represented in the festival's programs, Granger scores the greatest playing time by far, including 1 half program and 2 whole programs, along with 2 lectures and an exhibition, of course. And I do hope that you will come to the performance of one of his masterly improvisatory works called Random Round, which the Elysian Ensemble is playing on Friday at 6 o'clock, as well as at 7:30 on that day, the 2 piano recital at 2 Temple Place, where you can also view that exhibition. But who else is there in the aspiringly greatest Australian camp? Age does not seem to weary them, nor the years condemn. For